Life often presents us with defining moments where we must choose between faith and fear, obedience and rebellion, purpose and complacency. The question, to be or not to be, originally from Shakespeare, echoes throughout the Bible as many individuals face crucial decisions that shape their destinies. As believers, we also encounter moments that test our faith, compelling us to choose whether to be who God has called us to be or to shrink back in doubt and hesitation. Let us look at some real-life biblical examples. Our first look is at Esther. She chose to be. One of the most powerful biblical examples of this dilemma is Queen Esther. As a young Jewish woman who became Queen of Persia, she found herself in a precarious position when a decree was issued to annihilate her people. Esther faced a choice: to remain silent and protect herself, or to risk everything by interceding for her people before the king. Mordecai, her uncle, reminded her in Esther 4:14 that silence was not an option. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther chose to embrace her divine purpose, declaring in Esther 4:16 that, "If I perish, I perish." Her courage saved an entire nation, demonstrating what it means to step into God's calling despite fear and uncertainty. She chose to be rather than retreat into passivity. Our second example to look at is Jonah. He chose not to be. In contrast, Jonah initially chose not to be obedient to God's calling. When God commanded him to preach repentance to Nineveh, he ran in the opposite direction. Fear, prejudice, and reluctance overwhelmed him, leading to disobedience. Jonah's attempt to flee was futile, as he ended up in the belly of a great fish, where he was given a second chance to fulfill his divine mission. Although he eventually obeyed, his story serves as a warning of what happens when we resist God's will. Jonah's struggle reminds us that running from God's purpose can lead to unnecessary hardship. Unlike Esther, who chose to be who God destined her to be, Jonah initially chose not to be, delaying his divine assignment. But our greatest and best example is Jesus. He is the ultimate example of embracing one's divine calling. Jesus Christ, facing the cross, prayed in Gethsemane, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Jesus chose to fulfill his purpose, laying down his life for humanity's salvation. His obedience brought redemption to all who believe. His life answers the question, to be or not to be, by demonstrating absolute surrender to the will of the Father. As believers, we face daily choices about our faith, integrity, and obedience to God. Will we, like Esther, step boldly into our divine purpose? Or will we, like Jonah, resist and suffer unnecessary detours? Will we follow the perfect example of Christ and surrender to God's will? The answer lies in our trust in God's sovereignty. If we embrace his calling, we will experience the fullness of his purpose for our lives. As Joshua declared in Joshua 24:15, "Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." To be or not to be, the choice is yours. Have a great day, and God bless you in Jesus' name.